Paranormal King Radio Network, bringing you the best paranormal hosts and guests. Bringing you the best paranormal shows and features. Playing the top musical artists from around the world. Paranormal King Radio Network. With the best paranormal hosts and guests. The best in paranormal shows and features. Playing the best musical artists from around the world. Paranormal King Radio Network. The paranormal will never be the same.
There are things in this world of the paranormal that we do not understand. Entities such as ghosts and mysterious creatures have always haunted our collective consciousness. Amongst all the mystery that exists in our midst, there are occurrences that have earned increased attention. What we present to you now is Haunted Salem's Beyond the Grave, where the dead educate the living. Welcome to Beyond the Grave Radio with Haunted Salem, where the dead educate the living, here on the Paranormal King Radio Network. I'm your host, Christina Corsetti, and tonight we are here with Stefan Temkey with Orbs 101. Not only is Stefan a great friend of mine, but he's also our evidence reviewer with our paranormal investigation team, North Shore Pure Paranormal, as well as helps a lot of people in my Haunted Salem group who supplies photos as well who are looking for a review. So tonight we'll be discussing orbs and portals. Stefan, how you doing tonight?
Hi.
There you are.
Yeah, here I am. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. Good.
Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. Thank you very much for being here. So
Thank you.
people can get to know you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your abilities and how you began in the paranormal?
Well, my abilities, I'm sort of sensitive, and what I know so far about my abilities is ghosts, spirits, angels, and demons are all attracted to me, and I can see orbs in darkened rooms at night.
Okay.
And also, more recently, I found out that I cannot be jumped by ghost spirits, demons, anything like that.
Okay.
Um, and I got into the paranormal heavily at about 18 years old. I started reading a lot about it, and because I had library access at college, I was able to check things out without my parents knowing really, because just because of the way I was brought up,
Sure.
I didn't want my parents worrying about me, anything like that. What I
Sure.
was doing with that kind of stuff. And my first, actually, my first experience with paranormal stuff was that I can remember is when I was 2 years old. I had an encounter with a demon. I
Okay.
was I was sat on a living room floor in New York City at an uncle's house, and I was at the edge of the living room facing a hallway that was a blank, empty hallway. There was no furniture or anything like that in it. And I was pointing down the hallway, telling my sister, "Oh, look, a turtle, a turtle." And she she swears to this day that I saw a demon.
Really.
Um, and since then, I've I've seen ghosts, spirits, angels, and demons. Um, my actually my last encounter with a demon more recently was last year. I had one growl in my ear.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
They're no fun.
no, it's not.
well,
It's a
go ahead.
it's a little startling,
Oh
but
yeah, absolutely. Well, orbs have odd people since beginning witnessed, usually at night, in the natural environment. Orbs are transparent balls of light commonly found in photos, but can also be seen with the naked eye if light emitting plasma. They appear as circular lights, either floating or moving, and sometimes traveling at a high speed of read. A rate of speed. Now, Stefan, what is your take on an orb?
my take on orbs is I believe that most or I would say a majority are actually spirit energy
Okay.
of some kind. And it's just because of the characteristics that I've noticed studying my own photos, and also because of my abilities, being able to see them, how they move, and also feeling presence, of a spirit when
Okay.
they're around.
Now, I've always seen them in photos. I've never seen them with the naked eye, but you see them with the naked eye.
Yes,
It's awesome. There are many critics who argue against the authenticity of orbs. They claim that they are merely reflections of airborne particles poisoned in close vicinity of the camera's lens. So tell me, how would you tell an orb from dust?
I would say dust is more, from what I've seen in photos. It's more fuzzy looking and not see through.
Okay.
Whereas orbs, you can see through them, and they have all certain ones have different kinds of characteristics. Some do have rings in them. Um, it's also how bright they are, which I know that skeptics will explain it away as reflection, but that's not necessarily true because of how bright they are,
Yep.
and, how they appear in the air, right in front of you. So,
Okay. Now, why do you believe many orbs to be spirit energy?
uh, because of what I feel when they're around, and it's I don't know, it's hard to explain for me. It has to do with my abilities, knowing that there is a presence nearby, and
Okay.
uh,
Well, orbs can appear as a normal orb, which is a thick, white, barely transparent sphere surrounding by a thick ring, like you mentioned. Sometimes they'll appear as a supercharged orb, which appears mist-like and have a pink, blue, or green hue. The next is an ecto orb, which shows substance and transparency and can be dispersed into a floating mass of ectoplasm. Some orbs can form figures to the face of the spirit in memory of when it was in physical form inside itself. So, my question to you is what causes orb energy?
That I really don't know myself. I know that it's the energy. I believe that it's energy that's around you in the atmosphere, that's just stored in the atmosphere over time, and spirits can use that energy
Okay.
to form, orbs, and their own energy really is, they can be orbs and they can manifest into apparitions. Um, and what they use mostly is things around them, like uh, to travel and things like that, and to be able to manifest.
Okay.
Just the atmosphere around them. Water is one source. Um, so
Okay. Um, Now, let's see here. Some orbs are definitely energy, and energy is spirit. However, no one knows what the energy is for sure. Plasma balls of light or ghost lights, orbs, have been proven to be electrically charged. Some of them are naturally occurring phenomenon created by or through static discharge. Plasma orbs will normally have a more solid center without any spokes radiating from the center and emit their own light. Whether or not plasma type orbs are only unintelligent electrical discharges remains to be discovered and better understood. It's possible that some plasma orbs are intelligent spirit energy that manifest similarity. Now, what would you say? Would you say a ghost light to be a type of orb?
I would say ghost lights, from what I've read, ghost lights um, seem to me to be related to orbs, not
Okay, not
different
so much
from
orbs.
orbs.
Okay,
They seem, it seems that ghost lights may be manifesting form of an orb, like the next step from an orb to an
okay,
apparition, let's
I
say.
got you. Okay, all right. Is the orb that you see with your naked eye considered more of a ghost light? Because you could,
No,
uh,
the orbs I see uh, are round spheres, but they're moving very, very fast. So fast that I, you can't really make out exactly. You can't make out details. It happen. They go by so fast. It's just like a quick flash or a quick streak, and
okay,
it's not very bright streaks. The stuff that I see. Sometimes there are bright things that I see, but when they're flying by really quick, they just seem like oblong shapes going really, really fast. But they are sphere shaped.
okay. Now, orbs have been known to sometimes hang around people. This would tend to cause some to believe that orbs might be angels, spirit guides, or deceased relatives. Now, this actually, every time I take a picture of my son, every single time, there's always an orb near his head. So I always thought them to be angels. Can they be animals too?
Yes, yes, they can. That I do believe. I have actually seen faces of animals in orbs in pictures.
Okay, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
All right. When you see a moving orb in a photo, what makes them mobile versus standing still in photographs? That's when you have the trails, right? That's when you know it's a moving orb.
Yeah, when there's a lot of the pictures I've taken, let's say, uh, I'll give a couple examples. In a house that is here on Long Island that I was actually in for a while,
Okay.
um, I've gotten pictures of tons of orbs, and it was a very, very clean house. It was kept very clean, no dust, anything like that.
Okay.
Now, when they're moving in a picture, uh, sometimes they'll look oval shaped, or even uh, like short subway car, like, or a couple of subway cars going around a bend in a subway, like, train cars going around a bend.
Hmm.
So it looks like a little bit of light that's bent in a certain direction,
Okay.
and the the front and back edge of it are a little rounded. So so they could either appear like uh, oval shapes, or uh, looking like a bunch of train cars together,
Okay.
basically like one long streak of light. Um, Now, when they're still, they are perfectly round, and you could see a lot of the characteristics in them when you're zooming in to pictures. They have a lot of them have the telltale rings,
Hmm.
and I've noticed on white ones, on bright white ones, one across from each other on the outside of the white light, one part of the orb will look like a purplish bluish tint, and directly opposite that would be a yellow to orangish tint.
Okay.
Um, and I know. Let me give you an example of an orb that was definitely an orb that I caught at the house.
Okay.
We Sarah and I had experienced uh, a light switch turn on and off in the middle of the night, many nights.
Hmm.
And one night I took a picture of the set of switches that we had thought that the sound was coming from, and I caught an orb right on top of it.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
All right. Well, would a moving orb be more of an intelligent spirit?
um, I believe they're all intelligent in some
Okay.
way.
Sure.
The moving ones, I believe, are traveling somewhere, trying to get somewhere, um, trying to communicate with people.
Okay. That must be how they start to manifest, at least at the very beginning, to be an orb and then manifest from itself, you think?
I'm sorry. Can you say that
Wait, when
again?
they manifest into anything, when they try to manifest, do you think they start out as orbs? Is the energy itself
Yeah. Oh, I do believe they do.
okay? Okay. Well, orbs have been reported above fields with crop circles, at funerals, births, death scenes, religious services, and around every facet of everyday life. Interesting enough, orbs have been followed and even played with by animals, such as cats and dogs. Cats seem to particularly adapt to seeing orbs, and some people claim that animal friends who visit from the other side are occasionally seen as orbs. So, why are animals more prone to see them with the naked eye?
They're more prone to it. I believe it has a little bit to do with what we call the third eye.
Okay,
I believe because animals don't go through the same things humans do through life,
okay, like open
with
mind. Yeah,
let's say medical treatments and things like that. Um, they keep their third eye, and they're more sensitive to spirits than humans are.
okay, all right.
Excuse
Well, are animals like children where they don't know any better and have more mind, open mind to seeing spirits? So obviously, you just answered that. They do.
I yeah, I think they do. I don't know how I would word it. I think they know more than we do, but we can't understand them because they can't speak human.
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. Well, it is very intriguing that people are finding faces inside orbs. At first, one might
Yeah.
think it's to be silly, but some of the orbs we have experienced with facial features are astounding. Orbs have been captured with both human faces and animal faces in them. Uh, if that wasn't mind blowing enough, people have also shared photos with multiple faces, even crowds of people within the orb that have been photographed. And what's even more amazing are the orbs we have seen that contain buildings within them. This has led some to believe that orbs may be some sort of time warp. So, my question is, have you witnessed any orbs with these things in them?
Yeah, faces, single faces, many faces, animals, and buildings. I have not.
Yeah, that's kind of wild to see that, huh?
Yeah,
It's like its own little life in there.
yeah, and I personally, I don't believe that it's a time warp. I think it's something more, I guess I would say spiritual.
Okay,
Uh, but we may never know. For sure. I know it would take a lot of studying, a lot of experimenting, things like that. But you would have to, really look into how you would go about experimenting with that kind of stuff.
sure, absolutely. Um, Okay, well, in the skeptic's view, orb images can appear quite readily on digital images due to the conditions and elements around you. Most orb photographs are merely the result of dust, pollen, airborne particles, or even weather conditions such as rain, humidity, and moisture. Dust and airborne particles, for instance, will create these effects if they are within a few inches of the lens at the time of the flash. Always make a note of the conditions. Orbs are digitally generated when taking pictures in low light conditions while using the flash, which would normally be the case of with ghost photography. So that's a skeptic's view. But what are
Yeah.
Buster orbs?
Buster orbs, that I do not know.
Okay.
That I have not heard about myself.
Okay, that's not a problem. Orbs are believed to be supernatural beings and travel in the form of ball or oblong shape. They may or may not be seen with a trail, and although they are believed to be spirits, there is some controversy as to the kinds of spirits they may be. Now, the ones seen with trail, those are obviously moving orbs.
Yes.
Um, Orbs that have many names, including globes, globals, balls of light, and hovering round balls. They appear in all ranges of brightness from bright and glowing to faded and barely visible. They are usually quite fast and follow an erratic pattern of flight. Positive orbs are believed to be the spirits of the dead by many. However, other theories suggest they may be separate life forms or even nature spirits. The problem is that many orb photos are false positives. Could you tell us some of these false positives?
I would say it's some of the false positives have to do with being dust and shadows and that are created, um, things like that.
Okay.
Light play basically, and I know another thing could be water particles, things like that, but I've not really looked into what water particles look like in photos, things like that.
Sure.
Myself, I've only seen basically dust particles.
Okay.
And with
Um,
the range of orbs I've gotten in photos, I've gotten many different colors in different photos. So it's really hard for me to say that any of it is something else other than an actual spirit.
Sure.
spirit energy, something like that.
Absolutely. What percentage of orb photos are false, do you think?
Um, I know a lot of people say 50-50. I think that it's a little bit more lopsided. I would say 70-30.
Okay.
70 being positive, 30 being negative.
Okay. What should people look for in an orb photo?
Um, the main things to look for is how the orb appears, the characteristics of the orbs, the blue and yellow that I mentioned when there's a white orb, a bright white orb. If you zoom in far enough, you should see a little bit of blue on one part of it, and opposite that part, a little bit of like a yellowish color.
Okay.
Um, the telltale rings. If you can distinctly tell there's some kind of face in it, when you're zooming in and out, that's another thing with reviewing photos. When you're zooming in and out and you see what looks like a face, if you keep zooming in and getting closer and it still has the facial features
Hmm.
as it kind of goes out of focus, like all grainy, if the curves and everything of the facial features are still there, then it's a face.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's see. Where are we? These orbs come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. So let us discuss some of these colors and meanings. The size of an orb is often believed to be significant. Some believe the size indicates the level of soul evol- evaluation. The bigger the orb, the more spiritually evolved the ghost is or was at the time of death. Others believe the size of the orb indicates the power of emotion. A huge red orb would indicate a very angry spirit or even a demon. So, what can you tell us first before we get into colors about the size of the orbs?
I would say the size of the orb had I haven't really witnessed different sized orbs as let's say there's two orbs next to each other and one is bigger than the other. I've seen uh, a level of depth perception in photos mostly. Smaller orbs seem to be further back, and larger orbs seem to be closer to the camera. Um, I don't know about the size of orbs myself.
Okay.
I do believe that what you're saying is probably a good idea of what the size is having to do with soul's evolution, but that I don't know.
Okay. We do have a question in chat. I'm going to say a lot of Spuck. Nice name. Is there any sound with orbs?
Is there any sound with orbs? Uh, not with orbs directly.
Okay.
Um, just like the light switch situation, I heard that we heard the light switch every night going on and off. And one night I happened to take a picture in that direction where the light switches are, and I caught an orb right on top of it. So you could probably catch orbs that are, I will say, playing around, trying to get your attention, things like that, making noises, spirits making noises.
Sure. Okay. Well, some researchers theorize that if an orb is that of a deceased person with the color is dictated by the aura of the person's soul, its disembodied form. Other paranormal and supernatural investigators expose the idea that angelic energy creates gold and purple orbs. Do auras influence orb color?
I believe they do. It has to do with what the person went through in life, and how how his aura uh, grew through the years. I guess I would say uh, absorbing his emotions, basically.
Okay.
Uh, I could use my aura as an example. I know uh, because another thing about me is I have a very, very powerful aura. I had found out
Nice.
over the last, excuse me, 15, 16 years, actually.
Okay.
And I would say that it does have a lot to do with you know, how is the colors of the orbs, things like that, because the colors do represent different things. So
Yeah, we want to shed some light on those colors and meanings.
sure, sure. Now, black orbs are said to be malevolent, which I do believe.
Okay.
Blue or dark blue, that is, are shy spirits. Light blue is tranquil or peace, which that one I know to be true from an orb picture that I took at that house that I was at.
Sure.
I caught a light blue orb, and the person that was sitting next to it, where it actually appeared next to someone sitting, and they said they felt a sense of tranquility and peace.
Nice.
Um, Medium blue, protection. Brown orbs represent danger or are earthbound. Gold is angelic or unconditional love. Green is healing orb or spirit. Lavender is messenger from God. Orange, protection and forgiveness. Peach is a spirit sent to comfort you. Pink is an accepting spirit. And purple orb of information. Red is anger or passion. Silver is messenger. Violet is guide for spiritual matters. And then there's white for protection of holy light and power. And yellow for warning. And I have caught pretty much everyone except for I believe silver
Oh, wow.
photos.
Wow.
Cause or unless if I ever did catch silver, maybe I think it's white
Or clear.
or clear. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because clear orbs may be a sign that an entity is trying to communicate with you. The spirit may be trying to let the living know that some kind of significant event happened in that location, and the spirit wants to help to move on. White or silver. Spiritually, white or silver is associated with spirituality and connection with a higher source. Some investigators believe that orbs that are either white or silver in appearance are an indication that a spirit is trapped on this plane. It may also be a sign that the spirit is there to offer protection to the people in the area. White energy is typically perceived as highly positive in nature. Now, black or brown. Spiritually may feel that black or brown colors are associated with lower spiritual vibrations or heavy energy. Some people interpret this as evil, although it is not necessarily the case. When black or brown orbs appear, some investigators interpret that them as a sign the area may be unsafe or negative in nature. Examine such a place with caution, and if you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, leave. Um, so you've experienced black and brown orbs? Those must be really weird to see on a picture.
They are. They
To be
are.
dark, you know
It's
what I
very
mean?
strange. Yeah. I know that house. contained many of those colors. I do know that area had a lot of Native American Indian activity, and there was a war there where the Indians were killed.
Hmm. Okay. Red or orange, from a spiritual perspective, red and orange colors are associated with safety and security, as well as a sense of belonging. While these warm colors are often associated with strong emotions, such as anger and passion, this may not be the case when it comes to the ghost orbs. Some paranormal investigators believe that a red or orange orb is a sign that an entity has assumed the role of a protector. This could be someone who was charged in life to keep watch or to be a caretaker. Green. In spiritual practice, green is associated with the heart. It is also associated with nature. Green orbs are sometimes thought to be an indication of the presence of a human spirit, as opposed to one that was never on earth in human form. Likewise, green orbs may represent love or oneness with nature. And blue. Blue is spiritually associated with psychic energy and truth. It is very calming color, and many people associated it with spiritual guidance. Some people feel blue orbs are a sign of a calming presence or energy, while others feel they indicate the presence of a spirit guide that in that location. So before we go on to our break, is there anything else that you want to discuss with the colors of orbs?
Yeah. What I will say, I know, like for instance, the first very bright orb I ever captured, it was sort of mind blowing to me
Mhm.
because I was in a graveyard with a few people. I think there were 5 or 6 of us, and we were there to investigate a little bit. It was a very cool night. It was the middle of summer, and there were uh, fireflies out. But at this one point, and I made sure to watch in front of the camera rather than look at the camera screen when taking pictures. This way, I know if we got a firefly, anything like that. Um, and I had given the camera to somebody to take the pictures while I worked with another piece of equipment, and they were taking pictures, and I was watching them take the pictures. And at one point, they took a picture, and after every picture, we stop and look at it on the screen to
Mhm.
see if we see anything right away. And we caught this really bright orange orb, but it wasn't a firefly because when she took the picture, I was watching in front of the camera and no firefly had lit up when she
Sure.
took the picture. So and that was really cool to me. I mean, you, I don't think I could get better than that when it comes to, having a lot to do with making sure the environment is right, for, you know, figuring out what you just caught and stuff like that.
Okay.
I
All
think
right.
my
Go ahead.
favorite color that I play is the dark blue, and that was another one that I had caught at the house that it was at. Oh, I think I lost you there for a second.
Yeah,
There we
it's
go.
okay. You're back.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll be discussing portals.
All right.
Welcome back to Beyond the Grave Radio with Haunted Salem, where the dead educate the living, here on the Paranormal King Radio Network. In case you're just joining us, I'm your host, Christina Corsetti. We're here with Stefan Temkey, talking about orbs and portals. So let's talk a little bit about portals here. Many researchers, ghost researchers, reject the theories behind portals because they do not fit into their accepted ideas of haunted places. But we cannot afford to do this. We cannot afford to just reject off hand something that we just simply do not understand. Just think, if we had done this, many researchers would still be thinking that poltergeist activity was the work of evil spirits and not activity caused by the hidden depths of the human mind. So, strange and untraditional or not, the idea of the portals must be examined because evidence is starting to appear, which just may surprise the doubters amongst you. Now, the ideas of a portal or a doorway to another dimension is not a new one. Many researchers believe that there are places all over the world that serve as doorways from our world to another. These doorways are thought to provide access for entities to enter our world. They may be spirits of people who have lived before, or they could be something else altogether. Some researchers even believe that they could be otherworldly beings from another dimension. So, Stefan, what is your take on portals?
I believe portals are indeed a type of doorway for spirits.
Okay.
I actually had one appear uh, over our bed in our bedroom last year,
Wow.
and it was uh, uh, like I can't explain it. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Good.
Um, it was it looked almost like you would see in a movie where there were these weird designs and there was a big circle. So it was
Oh,
this big circle of light with these weird designs all over the place, and it was just there on like on the ceiling above our bed, just
wow.
kind of rotating around a little bit. And I watched it for about a minute to 2 minutes.
Did it disappear or something?
Yeah, basically it disappeared. But what happened was after watching it for so long, I closed my eyes, opened my eyes, and it was gone.
Okay. Now, well, for you to be able to see a portal above your bed last year, they must be movable then, huh?
I believe they are. I believe they are. And it may have something to do with spirits that may have, wanted to come visit one of us or both of us or something in that respect. And it could have been just somebody trying to get our attention for some other reason.
Okay. Well, what are some considered as portals?
I'm sorry, what?
What are some considered as portals? Like what are considered as portals?
Um, they're it's just these big, I would say some kind of very large, bright doorway for spirits to go in and out of pretty much whenever they please.
Can a mirror be a
Um,
portal?
can a what?
A mirror?
Oh yeah. There's mirrors. I believe water can be used. Um, uh, Ouija boards. I know they're a communication device, but they do open up portals to be able to communicate with spirits. Demons come through. We know that. Um, and what it is in communicating with these things, portals will open. I believe that to a certain degree. Even spirit boxes will do that.
Nice. Okay. I'm just getting into the spirit boxes, so that's pretty interesting. Can spirits come and go between realms without using a portal opening?
Yes, I believe they can. I don't know how they would, but I believe they can. I mean, I've seen other things which I believe we'll be getting into, vortexes or wormholes, what I like to call wormholes. I have pictures that show discoloration in a specific area of our apartment that I do believe is a kind of vortex or wormhole
Okay.
that orbs actually traveled through, because I've caught orbs in that area going back and forth a lot.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
A lot of Spunk wants to know if the one above your bed that you saw scared you.
no, it didn't scare me. I could not believe what I was seeing. It was more of a reaction of, wow, this is really, really amazing. I can't believe I'm seeing this. And why am I seeing this?
Sure.
What is it here for? Is it trying to, is
Tell you
it
something.
itself, is this energy itself trying to tell me something, or is there something that came through it that's here to tell me, so it was that kind of a reaction.
Sure. Um, Paranormal vortexes, like you mentioned, are often referred to as a sort of spiritual energy, and there are many photographs on the internet of alleged ghosts in the shape of a vortex. Almost most paranormal researchers would not say that these vortexes are actually ghosts, but portals of some sort. They may be portals to the spirit world or possibly to other coinciding dimensions. Others believe that they may be an opening to another time. What is a paranormal vortex to you?
I believe that it is related to portals, not necessarily portals themselves. I believe it's just related to portals where it connects one portal to another,
Okay.
um, because of the things I've caught in the pictures I've taken here. With uh, Let me explain. The ceiling of the apartment is like an off-white color, and in every picture, just one side of the apartment has this pinkish, like dull pinkish glow, and there's always at least one or two orbs going back and forth in that area.
Okay.
So I they use it sort of as an energy highway, so to speak, to get
Okay.
from one portal to another, things like that.
Okay. How rare is it to find a paranormal vortex in a photo?
I believe it's pretty rare, but I think it has to do with how sensitive you are to the paranormal, what abilities you have. If you
Okay.
and I believe everybody has abilities, but not everybody knows how to open up to those abilities.
Sure. All right. Well, from what I understand, you have caught portal paths and photos with orbs traveling through them. Could you
Yeah.
explain this?
Um, what I've caught, it's what it is just in that pink area, there would be an orb that's elongated one way, like traveling to, let's say, the right side of the photo in the photo, and there would be another orb traveling the opposite way. And it looks very odd. It looks sort of like on a
Like some are coming through and some are coming out. Is that what you mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
going in, coming out. Um, so it does seem like they're going to some kind of area where there's a portal so that they can go through it. Um, and I would say that just here for myself, it's because of our abilities. These things want to come to us
Sure.
and communicate with us.
Sure.
Excuse me.
All right. Well, if you took a picture and you found a vortex in a photo in your home, is it safe to say that you have a portal opening there?
Most likely, there would be a portal opening somewhere. I believe that there are portal openings pretty much everywhere. Um, where maybe not so much like in specific places. I think that us, I guess the spirits can use energy to open portals pretty much anywhere they want to appear, anywhere they want to go. You know.
Okay. Raven Wings has a question. Uh,
Okay.
do you believe that people might actually be portals?
Um, that's a good question. I, I believe that they can be portals in a way. You know, for spirits to come through to to get their message through to somebody.
Okay.
Um, I know that also though has to do with jumping a person, which
Okay.
they got to get inside you to communicate with you. Sometimes they want to get inside to show you what they've been through and what they want, things like that. Um, and I guess that in that area, for me, it's very strange that to me that they can't jump me.
Okay.
But I do know it has to do with my abilities and the how powerful my aura is.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And you're welcome, Raven.
um, all right. Well, Ouija boards come to mind when we talk about portals. So when we use a Ouija board, are we opening up a doorway to the other side?
I believe we are. I don't
Okay.
know how,
I
but I believe we are.
okay. All right. Well, let's talk about mirrors being portals. In some cultures, at one time, mirrors were an open portal at one time, allowing beings from both sides to cross freely. In other cultures, mirrors are thought to have the power to capture and trap souls. Some cultures reportedly even cover mirrors during sleep or illness to prevent souls from being trapped in them um, if it would leave the body in Rome. When mirrors with trapped souls move to new homes, they are often blamed as the origin of hauntings. In tribal societies, it is believed that one's reflection is actually one's soul, and by exposing one's soul, it is made vulnerable to evil influences and even death. It is believed that mirrors are tools in which souls may be stolen for evil purposes. Mirrors have been used as tools to increase clairvoyance and or to gain knowledge of past lives. All class levels have used mirrors to tell their futures. Mirrors are often associated with evil, either as means to repel evil or as a way to further evil growth in the world. Mirrors are thought to be portals into another dimension or would a world allowing evil spirits and so forth to wreak havoc on the world. Um, so, what is your take on mirrors being portals?
Well, I believe all of that you mentioned to be true in their own ways. I believe myself that mirrors are definitely portals because I did have an experience at an ex friend's house a while back, where uh, we had talked about it. It was for a birthday party, and while we were all hanging out, we had talked about um, their not ex, deceased husband, and how uh, and Mira's got into the conversation how they are believed to be portals, and supposedly if you left something significant of that deceased person in front of the mirror, they would come through.
Hmm.
Now that night, a lot of freaky things happened.
Okay.
Um, where after everybody had gone to bed, I had uh, fallen asleep before everybody else. I was very tired, and I had woken up to a lot of noise, a lot of walking around, their dishwasher turning on and off,
Hmm.
uh, and the footsteps, I would say, or whatever it was, noticed that I was uh, I was awake because it had started getting closer to me, until eventually I was actually pushed
Oh wow.
into, like, down into the cushions of the couch I was sleeping on.
Okay.
Like, I felt the pressure of hands push me down, and it happened 4 times. And that the next day I had talked to them, and they said that the deceased husband uh, was a prankster.
Okay.
So we believe it was him.
Oh wow. Um, what about doors on closets? If they have a mirror on them, can they be portals?
Yeah, I believe it's the mirror that
It's the
is,
mirror that does it.
yeah, that does it.
And the same can be said with still bodies of water acting as mirrors, correct?
Yes, yes, because if you can see your reflection uh, in something very clear, I believe that it does have potential to act as a mirror
Hmm,
in a
that's
way.
very that's very interesting. Well, a lot of spunk. This one's for you. Here are some very interesting superstitions about mirrors. Um, never look into a mirror by candlelight. It may show you a very haunted version of your home. If you stare into a mirror between two tall white candles, you might see the spirit of a loved one who has passed away, and their soul is stuck in your mirror. Always cover a haunted mirror during a thunderstorm lightning will release the ghosts. It is considered a bad omen to receive a mirror from a deceased person's home as a present.
Hmm.
If a mirror in the house falls and breaks on its own, an evil ghost is trying to escape its mirror's prison. A baby should never be shown its own reflection before it's a year old, or else it will stutter or grow no bigger than it is or die before it turns one.
Wow.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Many families cover a mirror if someone dies, as they believe the mirror will capture the dead person's soul, thus preventing its entry into heaven. When a person is bad in life, many say they let them be trapped in the mirror. It is better than going to hell.
Hmm.
If someone sees the reflection in the mirror from a room where someone has recently died, they will soon die too.
Wow.
And let's see. And it is said that if a ghost wanders your home during the night, a mirror can capture it. So, anything else before we end our show, Stefan? Would you like to mention to the listeners?
Uh, no, I don't have much
Pretty much
else.
captured everything, haven't we?
Yeah.
Uh, if you'd like a photograph or anything to be reviewed, you can also visit Stefan on Facebook or get a hold of me and we'll get you in touch with Stefan. This is the
Yes.
end of our show. Stefan, thank you so much for being a part of it.
Thank you. And I do want to say,
Sure.
I definitely encourage people to get out there and take pictures. And definitely, if you want help taking a look at pictures, let us know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much. I want to thank Ross Raposo and the Paranormal King Radio Network for having us on. Want to thank all you listeners as well as everyone in chat. You guys are great. For more shows, go to paranormal.com. And for more haunted, go to mysteriesofhauntedsalem.com. Um, Basically, this is our last Friday night show at 10 o'clock. Starting next week, we're going prime time. We're going to be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. from now on. So make sure that you catch that. And I want everyone to have a great night. Stefan, you have a great night, and I'll see you
You too.
online. And take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye,
All
everybody.
right.
Bye. That ends this episode of Beyond the Grave Radio with Haunted Salem, where the dead educate the living. Thank you for listening to what the dead had to say. All the stories mentioned are true, and if interested in more, visit us at mysteriesofhauntedsalem.com.